it honestly felt great. I knew we needed to clinch. I know we've been losing a couple games in a row, and I knew we had to bounce back and win, especially against Niagara. We haven't had a good record this year against Niagara, and I knew it was huge. I was trying to do my best and help the team whatever way I can.
That can get a little emotional, but this Muck Dogs Nation, Muck Dogs Mafia, they have been starving, waiting, and willing this team into a playoff spot. So they're just as much as responsible for this as our guys are. And so I know the crowd reaction was ecstatic, and I think they're all happy about it. So I think now that they know that we're in, I think the support's even going to get bigger for the last few games in the playoffs. So I think the buzz in town is going to be pretty good going forward. So I'm happy for the whole community, the Batavia Muck Dogs organization, the Nichols family, Coach Eaton for doing a great job, our whole team, our staff. Everybody deserves it. Everybody's been a big part of this playoff run, from top to bottom. From the guys like yourself, everybody. Like you said, it's a big team, so I thank you for all your guys' support, everything. This is a big team win, and I think the whole Muck Dogs organization won today.
Do you want to hear more great quotes like that from Skip Martinez? And in addition to that, you also get to hear a little bit more of the star of the game, Abner Benitez, on the eve of your Batavia Muck Dogs clinching a playoff berth. Well, the only way to do so is to stay tuned to the postgame show that's having you covered all season long, the Batavia Muck Dogs postgame show, which starts right now. We welcome you into this edition tonight of the official Batavia Muck Dogs postgame show. Well, I stand corrected. I should say your playoff-bound Batavia Muck Dogs postgame show, because that's right, Batavians. Following your 10-6 win tonight over the Niagara Power, you're in. Congratulations to everybody in the organization and you, the fans, as well. And if you didn't hear the broadcast or hear the final out, we will replay it for you at the end of this post-game show, just so you could get a sense and idea of what it was like in the ballpark when the final out was recorded, and your Muck Dogs sealed their first playoff appearance in a couple seasons, and their first as an official member of the PGCBL. Good evening, everybody, and what a way to start off this post-game podcast. I am John Karuba, and you got to give the Muck Dogs a lot of credit. How fitting is it that they make the playoffs on a game that's been so reminiscent of their whole season? Fall behind early, fight back, go through another lull where they fall behind as many as 6-3, only to come storming out of the gate and coming back with 7 unanswered runs to pick up the 10-6 victory, and the bullpen completely shut Niagara down after the 6th inning. And again, it just shows how tough this lineup is. And even when it looks like you're not going to get a whole lot from them offensively, all of a sudden the bottom of the 4th happens and they strike for 4. And then 5 more in the bottom of the 6th, paving the way for the win as they got it 10-6. And really, you have to feel good for Abner Benitez. Such a huge part to the success this team had down the stretch last season. And, he's really had a rough go of it. Had a late start to this year, replacing Mike DiStefano. But finally, he came through with a couple of huge hits. How about this for a stat line? 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and 3 runs driven in, and really helped turn the game in your Muck Dogs' favor. So, with that all said, let's go through the highlights of how your team and the Muck Dogs clinched the first playoff berth of the West Division here in this PGCBL season by getting the 10-6 win, and we'll go through those highlights, and we'll start with Niagara getting off to a strong 3-run start in the top of the 2nd inning that put Batavia down early. As always, these game highlights proudly presented to you by the Muck Dogs Baseball Network.
So bases loaded, 1 out. Here's King Carl, right back to the pitcher, could be 2. Throw to second, 1-0. And the throw to first pulls Corso off the first base bag. So they get the out at second, but a run does score. And in the top of the 2nd, Niagara strikes first. It's the Power 1, and Batavia no score. The 1-1 swung on, lined, and off the glove of the shortstop Rodriguez into left center. 1 run scores, 2 runs coming to the plate. Throw to third, not in time. So we'll see how they score it, but 2 more runs do score for Niagara, and they're going to give them a hit. So it's going to be a 2-ribby single for Morris. That was a hot shot right to the shortstop, Caleb Rodriguez. Jumped up on him, couldn't control it. 2 runs scored. And when that ball went into left center, they tried to get the out at third, but couldn't do that either. And now in the top of the second, Niagara's starting to pull away. It's the power 3, and your Muck Dogs, no score.
So once Niagara got off to that 3-0 lead, it looked like they were going to be in cruise control, and all of a sudden your Muck Dogs in their typical fashion said, hey, Power, not so fast, and they come charging back with 4 unanswered runs, including a big one off the bat of the hero of tonight's game, Abner Benitez.
And he takes a big swing, but it goes off the glove of the catcher, and scoring, standing up, coming to the plate, is Corso. Meanwhile, Fry goes to third, and Reinhardt goes to second. And in the bottom of the 4th, Batavia gets on the scoreboard. Niagara 3, Batavia 1, tying runs, down scoring position. It'll be a 1-1 to the lefty Benitez, and he powers one in the air to right field. Back, still going back, and it's off the wall. 2 runs are going to cross the plate. Benitez in the second with his second 2-bagger of the game. And in the bottom of the 4th, we are tied at 3. Again, stands back in right side. Here comes the pitch, and that is ripped to the gap in left center. Dunks in for a base hit. Benitez, come on down to score. Caleb made a wide turn around first, but he'll stop there. And for the first time today, your Muck Dogs are on top. RBI single to left center by Caleb Rodriguez. All coming apart for Niagara. Batavia 4 and the Power 3.
And the seesaw back and forth affair would continue as Niagara give them credit. Even though they're out of playoff contention, they wouldn't go down without a fight. And they displayed that again when they rallied for another 3-run rally of their own to take a 6-4 advantage.
The 1-2 going to be on its way from Aiden Cooney. Swung on, slow chopper up the middle, and the shortstop, Caleb Rodriguez, boots it. Second baseman backs him up, but not going to have a play anywhere. Runs, scores, and in the top of the 6th inning, Niagara ties it right back up again. We are tied at 4 in the top of the 6th. And the pitch misses up and inside, so it is a bases-loaded walk. Another run crosses the plate. And in the top half of the 6th inning, Niagara retakes the lead. It's the Power 5 and Batavia 4. Pitch off the plate, down and in at the shoelaces. Another 4-pitch walk, and the merry-go-round continues for Niagara. It's another bases-loaded ribby walk for Carl. And in the top of the 6th, the Power go back up by 2, leading it 6-4.
But that rough half inning seemed to spark your Muck Dogs as they decided they were not going to take it anymore. Enough was enough. They had really struggled against Niagara, and finally Batavia showed that they are clearly the better team as they end up scoring 6 unanswered, including a suicide squeeze play well executed to tie the score, and they would go on to pour it on. They get 6 unanswered runs to really take control of the game and seal the playoff berth and the win for your Muck Dogs.
First pitch hits it on the ground, and it's under the legs of the first baseman, down the right field line. 1 run scores. Reinhardt cruises all the way to third, and Benitez on first. We'll see how they score it. They give him a hit, so it'll be an RBI. And in the bottom of the 6th, Niagara 6, Batavia 5, and runners on the corners and nobody out. What a day at the plate for Abner Benitez. Runner takes the lead off first, that's Benitez. Reinhardt off third, and he goes, and it's a bunt as the runner breaks for the plate. Here's the throw, the play safe! He gets in there! Meanwhile, the throw to second, not in time. So Benitez safe, scoring is Reinhardt, And making it to first is Caleb Rodriguez. And that's how you run the squeeze play, the suicide squeeze, folks. He just got it down, gets rewarded with the RBI, and we are tied at 6 in the bottom of the 6th. Now stands back in right side, pitch swung on, hammered, fair ball! Past the third baseman, Fairbrother, down the left field line. 1-run score standing up, throw to third, gets away, so motoring to second with a go-ahead RBI double is Josh Leadham. Caleb Rodriguez to third, and scoring was Benitez, and in the bottom of the 6th, your Muck Dogs retake the lead. Batavia 7, Niagara 6 in this roller coaster seesaw affair here at Dwyer. New pitcher in the game, but that is hit in the air high to left field. Coming in the left fielder, they're going to send the runner to plate as he mishandled it. So jogging down the line to score, coming across and scoring is Caleb Rodriguez. And Aguilar's on first, so he did not make the catch. It fell in there. So it's actually going to be an RBI single. I think the left fielder coming on lost it in the sun. So it is going to be an E7 on the left fielder, Ben Sinnons. Another run scores, and the inning keeps on rolling. Aguilar's at first, and moving up to second lead up, bottom of the 6th, Batavia 8, Niagara 6. It'll be a 1-1. Canoe grounds it up the middle and through into center field. Leadham coming to the plate as the center fielder bobbles it. Aguilar scores standing up. Canoe busts out of a slump. He is on first with a huge RBI single. And in the bottom of the 6th inning, Batavia has their largest lead of the game. Your Muck Dogs 9, Niagara 6. Coming set, it'll be a 1-0. And Canoe again, right up the middle, base hit. Are they going to send the runner? Yes, they are. Coming home. The throw is cut off at the mound by the pitcher Murray. So sliding in to score, Caleb Rodriguez. 2-out RBI single for Canoe, his second of the day. And in the bottom of the 8th, Batavia 10, Niagara 6.
So after taking control of the game, Batavia would make sure that they would not lose control. Trey Bacon came out with a 1-2-3 ninth inning. And again, when looking to seal a playoff berth, it's high pressure, a lot of emotion, a lot of adrenaline. But Trey Bacon, give him credit, came in and slammed the door shut, including this third and final out that sent your Muck Dogs to the playoffs off the bat of Jaden Lobliner.
2-1 is swung on, popped him up. Could this do it? Catcher Fleming behind the plate makes the catch. Ball game is over. And you know what else? The losing streak is over. Your final score today, the Batavia Muck Dogs solved the Niagara Power. Batavia wins 10-6.
As always, we hope you enjoyed those highlights of the game. As always, proudly presented to you by the Batavia Muck Dogs Baseball Network. Now, again, just a great season all the way around by your Muck Dogs. They deserve to get in the playoffs, and they showed it tonight with their resiliency and how well they have played at home. Remember, when they were going through their little bit of a losing streak a few games ago, I remember mentioning the fact that, this team was good enough to start 10-2 and get to 25-10 at one point. We knew we were going to see the best of them again, and that's exactly what we got tonight, especially in that bottom of the 4th, and Abner Benitez led the charge. So, again, after getting that big 10-6 win, let's hear what the players and Skip have to say, not only about the win, but the whole season, and finally being able to punch an X next to their name. They're going to the playoffs, and let's listen to a very, very joyous Batavia Muck Dogs locker room following the 10-6 win and the playoff berth on this tour around the locker room, again, brought to you by the Muck Dogs Baseball Network.
Here with the star of the game,
Abner Benitez busting out a huge game at home. 3 hits, 2 doubles, a single, and 3 RBIs. First of all, Abner, you were such a big part of this team last year. How did it feel, though, to come through with those huge hits tonight in a game where you guys clinch a playoff berth?
It honestly felt great. I knew we needed to clinch. I know we've been losing a couple games in a row, and I knew we had to bounce back and win, especially against Niagara. We haven't had a good record this year against Niagara, and I knew it was huge. I was trying to do my best and help the team whatever way I can.
And, when you hit that second one, it was very close to getting out. Off the bat, did you think it had a shot to go, or did you know it probably stayed in?
Off the bat, on both of them, I thought I had a chance to go, but knowing this field, playing here for the last 2 years and knowing the ball doesn't really travel as far, I was hoping it would get out, but I kind of was still running just in case, and it ended up staying in and ended up getting 2 doubles.
Your offense had struggled the last couple games, and it looked like over the first 3 innings you were struggling, and all of a sudden, bottom of the 4th, you guys just explode. 10 runs, 15 hits tonight in a big situation like this. What do you think that says about this team? What was it like to be a big part of what this offense was able to do tonight?
It feels great, honestly. His offense is honestly really good, and we could click it. When we all click, it's very dangerous, as you saw. We ended up, after 4th inning, we ended up putting another 6-7 runs, and we put up a good 15 hits.
And, obviously you being a part of this team last year and now this season, to know that you guys clinched are in the playoffs, which is something you didn't get to experience last year, and you see how excited the Batavia fans are. What's the feeling right now in that clubhouse?
Oh, it's electric at the moment. Last year we fell, I believe, 1 or 2 games short out of the playoffs, and we were right there, but we couldn't make it. But this year it feels great to clinch that first place spot and just celebrate with my teammates.
Obviously, there's more work ahead to be done. You guys still want to finish first in the division. You guys were able to snap out of the 4-game losing streak with a win tonight. How important a victory do you think this was, not only because it clinched playoff berth, but overall for this team?
I think it was huge just because, as you've seen, when we win, we get on a streak and we just roll with it. So I feel like the win, we needed it because it just shows us we could even do tough times, we will still find a way to pull through. And I feel like now we're just going to get on the roll and there's no stopping us.
And Chris Isaac came into this game in a very important spot. You guys were still down 6-4, gets out of it and keeps your team in the game. That gives you the chance to have this rally. What did you think about what Isaac was able to do?
Oh, I tip my cap to that man. He came in with bases loaded. I believe there was 1 out or no outs. I'm not positive, but he was able to get out of that inning. I don't think he allowed to run that inning. I think it was a ground ball to third, got him out at home, and then we got a double play, I believe, after, or something like that, but it was huge. And then he came in the 8th, shoved it down, and then Trey Baker came in the 9th and really closed the door for us.
And, winning 10-6 and being a 2-year veteran of this team, just overall, last thing here, Abner, what do you think? Just sum up what it's been like this year, not only playing for Skip, but this team, and just having an incredible record, what you've been able to do in the division, and now you're here clinching a playoff spot. What has this year been like for you and the part that you've experienced?
This year has been great, honestly. I've struggled, honestly. Today was a big game, but my teammates always had my back. Skip always had my back. And I really like to see, because everyone, even if it's struggling, we always got your back and we always pull through. We'll find a way.
And actually, this will be the last thing, I promise. As far as the fans, they really wanted to see you get going. They were so excited when you came back to finally come through in the big way you did tonight. What's the feeling like for you?
Oh, it's electric. When I first got here and the fans went off, got loud when I got my first at bat, it felt amazing. I know I haven't been able to show them what I'm capable of, and today I'm thankful that I was. And I'm just thankful for the fans. They're great fans, probably one of the best in this whole league.
And on that note, Abner, thank you for the time. Congrats on the huge game, and go have fun with your buddies in there. Everybody's in his celebratory mood.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Here with Skip Martinez following his team clinching the playoff berth and getting the 10-6 win tonight over the Niagara Power. And Skip, first and foremost, congratulations on you and your guys getting it done. And first of all, to clinch the playoff berth after all the ups and downs you guys have been through this season, describe what this season has been like to get to this point? What does it mean to finally at least be able to put an X by your team's name?
It's the monkey off the back, proverbial monkey off the back. We, like you said, John, we've been up and down. It's been a pretty solid season for the most part. We had a good run going into 35 games or so, being 25-10, and went into a little drought here. And finally, the bats woke up today. We got another 14, 15 hits out there, and when we do that, we're pretty dangerous. And we put up a 10 spot. We've been struggling to score runs the last few games. But overall, I'm proud of our guys. This is what the goal was at the beginning of the season, is to get into the dance. And that's great that the guys get out, celebrate a little bit, and have fun with it. But we still got a lot of work to do. And our main objective is, our next phase here is try to clinch first place and get a home field advantage. So we still got work to do.
And I got to say, all the fans were really excited when Abner came back. And I remember asking you when he came back what it's like. And, obviously he's had some struggles this season, but all the fans excited what a big part of the team was last year. In a playoff clinching game, for him to perform the way he did tonight, what did you think about Abner today?
That's what we've been waiting for from Abner. So, as coaches, we got to keep putting him out there. He gets a day off, plays a day until he finds it. And then today, I just one of those good feelings about, Ab's due, Abner's due, Abby's due. And sure enough, first at bat, he came through right off the bat. Then another one, second at bat, and then third at bat, hit it again. And so he came through in clutch situations, and that's what he did last season. And that's why he's a big part of what we did here last year. And hopefully now he starts contributing here from here on out. And, that's a big bat in that lineup if we can get him going.
And, and when you watch the two doubles, those were not cheapies. No. Those were two huge, especially the second one off the top of the wall. Yeah. Watching those off the bat, did you think those had a chance to actually get out?
He hit it to the big area of the ballpark there, so I knew they were close. I didn't think they were going to go, but I knew they had beat the outfielders, and that's really, a good sign, and that's all you can hope for. So once I knew he beat the outfielders, that's when I knew, he had two good swings in those two at-bats, and that's what we need him to do. We don't need him to leave the park all the time, but if he can leave gap to gap, he's going to be dangerous for us, especially that big lefty bat that we need in that lineup.
And another turning point, because even though this was a huge win and what your offense was able to do, early on it didn't look that way. Down 3-0, you guys were kind of going through the struggles again. Yeah. But once Niagara retook the lead 6-4, Chris Isaac came in, bases loaded, 1 out, got out of that, hits the seventh. As far as Isaac goes, how huge was that moment in that game, and what did you think of him tonight?
Oh, man, Chrissy was, Isaac was good, man. Chrissy was a guy that we had in the plans today. We had a plan going into today with our pitchers that we were going to use, and we brought them in here. We had a meeting with them and said, hey, this is go time. This is crunch time. And we addressed all of them. And, Pichardo was a gritty performance by Pichardo. He didn't have his best stuff, but he's a veteran guy that knows how to pitch, even when under the not the best of circumstances where he don't have his best stuff. He figures it out. And so he gave us 5 solid innings. And then, Cooney came in and struggled. And at that point, it's about the team. And we told Cooney, we're going to pick you up. A lot of guys said, we're going to pick you up. We're going to pick you up. And, Chris, what an amazing job Chris done. Chris came in and put up 3 zeros, I think, and handed the torch off to Bacon, who was also freaking lights out. You know what I mean? So the two performances by those guys to close the game out is exactly what we needed. So those guys were a bigger part of this win today. Those were 2 guys.
And you know what? Your offense, 10 runs, 15 hits. I'm sure you're just as happy 0 errors. Yeah. But 10 runs, 15 hits. After being shut down first couple innings, what did you think of your offense tonight and the way they were able to just explode there in the bottom of the 4th and then pretty much the rest of the game?
I said my thing was welcome back. You know what I mean? We've been doing that most of the season, and last few games we have not been able to do that. And that's what I know our team can do. And, we've been saying it in the clubhouse, and saying, listen, if our pitching staff, puts together a game where they only give up 3 to 4 or 5 runs, man, this team should win because our lineup is that deadly. So I love our lineup, and if they can, that's a good sign today. If we can keep that going and pick it back up from there, then and our pitching staff does what they do, we're going to make a run at this thing. So I'm happy with what I saw today with the bats. We just need to keep that going.
And, obviously, as you said, more work to be done. But, in addition to clinching the playoff berth and how excited the fans got once it was announced you guys are in, how important do you think overall it was to snap this 4-game losing streak, not just to clinch the playoff berth, but for this team overall?
Yeah, snapping that losing streak is huge because morale was a little down. And I think the pressure was mounting up a little bit to us to get a win. But also, you could see that we were a little bit tense in at bats. We were pressing to do a little too much at times during those 4 losses because we needed that big hit or we needed that. And everybody was pressing in a good way. Everybody wanted to be the guy to come through. And when you press a little bit, you might not swing at a pitch that you want, or you might try to do too much. And just to get that monkey off our back, I think it loosens everybody back up. So I think now that they know that we're in, it's just going back to playing loose, free, easy baseball, playing muck dog baseball, and hopefully we can keep the streak going out throughout the rest of our 5 or 6 games that we have left.
2 more questions, Skip. First of all, you got an off day tomorrow. With this win, knowing you have a playoff berth, how much sweeter, how much easier is it to enjoy the off day?
It's a lot better to sleep in, I can tell you that. So it's going to be a lot better to sleep in and enjoy that day off.
Last thing here, Skip. You said how important it is to make the playoffs, but we got to ask, Muck Dog Mafia, what do you want to say to them now that your team's going to the playoffs?
Oh, man. That can get a little emotional, but this Muck Dogs Nation, Muck Dogs Mafia, they have been starving, waiting, and willing this team into a playoff spot. So they're just as much as responsible for this as our guys are. And so I know the crowd reaction was ecstatic, and I think they're all happy about it. So I think now that they know that we're in, I think the support's even going to get bigger for the last few games in the playoffs. So I think the buzz in town is going to be pretty good going forward. So I'm happy for the whole community, the Batavia Muck Dogs organization, the Nichols family, Coach Eaton for doing a great job, our whole team, our staff. Everybody deserves it. Everybody's been a big part of this playoff run, from top to bottom, from the guys like yourself, everybody. Like you said, it's a big team, so I thank you for all your guys' support, everything. This is a big team win, and I think the whole Muck Dogs organization won today.
And on top of that, you know what? You beat Niagara, who you all have been struggling with. So that's the perfect way to end it. On that note, Chris, Skip, for everybody, just a huge win. Congrats on making the playoffs. And go Muck Dogs, and looking forward to playoffs.
Thanks for having me, John. Go Dogs. Let's go get this playoff run. Let's go.
Here with Jerry Reinhart, Batavia native, after his team and your Muck Dogs clinch a playoff berth here at Dwyer Stadium. And Jerry, first, congrats on getting the win, clinching the playoffs. First, as a Batavia native who grew up loving this team, how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling pretty good. When I was a lot younger and we'd come to the games, we didn't really make the playoffs that much. So it feels really good to make the playoffs second year in the league. So I'm very happy about that.
And, obviously, Abner Benitez, star of the game, 3 hits, 3 RBIs. What did you think? What was it like to watch him tonight, especially with the struggles he's had and what he did last year for the team?
Yeah, we've been waiting for him to break out a little bit, and it was good to see that tonight. He had 2 very big hits for us that scored a couple of runs, and that was a good time watching that.
And, Chris Isaac, he comes into a huge spot in that game. Basically, and you actually made a big play to get the runner coming home. Take me through that play, and also how Isaac, what you thought of him tonight.
I thought Chris did a great job. It took a lot of guts for him to come in and throw the way he did, so a lot of props to him on that.
And on that play, when you saw the runner was coming home, did you think maybe of going to first, or were you thinking home all the way there to try to cut off that run?
Originally, I thought it was hit a little bit harder, so I kind of sat back for a second, was going to try to turn 2, but after I noticed it wasn't hit that hard, gloved it and made the play at home.
And, at the same time, getting this 10-6 win, you guys have struggled a little bit offensively the last couple days, and it kind of looked like the start to this one. You fall behind 3-0 early, going through the same thing, and then all of a sudden you guys just explode in the bottom of the 4th and going forward. What's it like to watch and be a part of this offense when it's going like that?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We haven't really had the offense in the last couple of days, but for it to break out today was a lot of fun to watch and a lot of fun to be a part of.
And, to be able to clinch the playoff berth, all season long, you guys have had some ups and downs, but as a player going through it, what has this season been like for you?
The season's been great. We had some ups and downs, and thankfully a lot more ups than downs, but we're just trying to keep it going now that we've clinched the playoffs and try to keep that 1 seed so that way we can have that for home field advantage in the playoffs.
And the crowd reaction and how they really got into it after Mitch makes that catch to end the ball game. Again, like that just had to like pump you up inside, just how excited these fans are in this community get behind this now playoff-bound team.
Yeah, the fans are awesome. I know they're very excited about us going to the playoffs, and I'm very happy that they stay behind us throughout the whole season.
And, you guys have, obviously, this is just the first step. A lot more work to be done. But how important do you think it was not only to clinch a playoff berth, but to also kind of snap out of the 4-game losing skid for this team overall, get back in the win column?
I think it was very important for us to get out of that losing streak. We haven't really lost that many games in a row all year, so for us to be able to come out and get a win tonight was very big.
And the Niagara Power, they've certainly given you a fight in a lot of the games this year. They've certainly frustrated you a couple times, but to come out and handle them like this and bounce back, again, just how important you think that was, again, given this opponent and your history with them this season.
Yeah, Niagara's kind of been like our kryptonite this year, and for us to come out here and kind of shut the door on them after they had us 3-0, I think that was a very big deal, and I think we showed a lot of heart tonight and just how good that we can be.
And how much sweeter is that off day going to be now tomorrow, knowing you guys could put an X by your name?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a lot better tomorrow, knowing that we came out here and gave it our all, got a win, and clinched the playoffs.
Last thing here, Jerry. The Batavia native yourself, you get a huge applause every time you come to the plate. What do you want to say to Muck Dog Mafia right now that Batavia is going to the playoffs?
To all the fans, all I want to say is get ready. It's going to be a hell of a ride. And just thank you to all the fans for all the support they show throughout the whole season.
And on that note, Jerry, thank you so much for the time. Congrats on making the playoffs. You've been very good all year. And again, congrats, my friend.
Yep, thank you.
Here with another local Batavia native that plays for your Muck Dogs, and after his team clinches a playoff berth, and Batavia, your team's going to the playoffs, Gavin Schrader. And Gavin, first of all, congrats on making the playoffs. As a Batavia native, what's it like, being around this team all your life and now being on the team and clinching the playoffs? What is that feeling like as a local Batavian?
It's a really good feeling to have something big going on in a small town.
And, obviously, Abner Benitez today, 3 hits, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs. What was he like to watch today, knowing how big he was last year, but also this season, the fans loving him, and finally he comes through like that in a huge spot?
He was lights out today. It was almost a guaranteed hit every time he went up.
And Chris Isaac, he came into this game in a tight situation, down 6-4, bases loaded, 1 out, doesn't give up a run, pitches through the 7th. What did you think of Chris today?
It was an amazing performance working through hard situations that he got thrown into.
And, you guys offensively have had some struggles the last few games, but the start of this one looked like it was going the same way. All of a sudden, you guys just explode in the bottom of the 4th inning, and really from then on. And when you're watching or are part of the offense, how much fun is it to see when this offense just gets cracking the way it does? 10 runs, 15 hits tonight.
It's really exciting. We've been hitting the ball hard, but hitting them right at people, so it's really nice to see to start to hit some grass.
What has this season been like for you overall, playing for Skip Martinez? Obviously, now you're in the playoffs. You guys been through ups and downs. What's this season been like for you personally, and now to see that you're in the playoffs?
It's been a great situation for me to learn from the older kids and get a lot of college experience before I even head to college.
And, obviously you come out and play like this against Niagara. Jerry was just saying Niagara's kind of been a little bit like your kryptonite this year. To come out and beat them the way you did today to clinch the playoffs. What do you think that means for this team and just to get this win against them, given your track record against them this year?
It was a big morale booster to finally beat this team. We've been having a lot of trouble with them, but today was a must-win game.
And, the fact is, you guys in a pressure spot, chance to clinch playoffs, it could have crumbled, could have buckled, but that didn't happen. You guys stood in there, and you end up putting up 10 runs. What do you think that says about this team?
I think that this team has very hard work and a lot of drive.
And, 10 runs, getting the win. Obviously, though, the work is not done. Still trying to win the division. So, overall, besides just clinching the playoffs, how big you think this win was as far as snapping that 4-game losing skid overall for this team? How big do you think that was?
I think it was very big to change the momentum as we're heading towards playoffs.
And, Gavin, one last thing here. Obviously, being from Batavia, Muck Dog Mafia, what would you like to say to them as far as now with you guys having punched your ticket to the postseason dance?
I would just like to thank them for being such a supportive and great crowd.
And on that note, Gavin, thank you so much for the time. Congrats on making the playoffs and getting to play for the Muck Dogs. Well done. You were in the field for the final couple outs. What was it like?
It was good to finish out the game.
So, again, Gavin, congrats. Thanks for the time. And go Muck Dogs. You in the playoffs.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed that tour of the locker room. Again, as always, proudly presented to you by the Batavia Muck Dogs Baseball Network. And again, we certainly wanted to hear from Jerry Reinhardt and Gavin Schrader, two Batavia natives who are living the dream and help pioneer this season as they get into the playoffs for a team that they once watched as kids. It really doesn't get any better than that. So again, on the eve of clinching the playoff berth, great to hear from them as well as Skip on what this means for the community and for this whole team. And again, great to get input from Abner Benitez, who really was the offensive hero of this game, as he was so many times down the stretch last year. Hasn't found that same consistency this year, but maybe a game like this can really get him going in the right direction for your Muck Dogs. Now, as we always do before we sign off, and again, we're going to replay the final out for you if you didn't catch it earlier on tonight of your Muck Dogs clinching the playoffs. But before we get to that, want to take you around the PGCBL on this scoreboard for this Tuesday evening. Mohawk Valley taking down Utica by a 7-2 final. Elmira getting a huge come-from-behind win at home, 10-8 over Geneva. And again, Newark defeating Jamestown 7-1. And with that loss, Jamestown is now officially eliminated from postseason contention. So that is a look around the PGCBL. Now let's look ahead to what's next for your Muck Dogs, and it's going to begin with a homestand to close out the regular season. Only 3 games remain. Pretty incredible to think all 3 going to be here at Dwyer Stadium, which will be huge, especially trying to close out the division. Remember, with Utica losing tonight and your Muck Dogs pulling off the win, your team now up 2.5 games in first place in the West Division. 3 games to go, and they're all at home. You have to love the odds now of Batavia pulling off the West Division title, which is something that Skip has said from the beginning of the season has been a goal for this team, and they're very close to accomplishing that feat now after the results tonight and the big win. So, the first team in on this 3-game homestand to close out the regular season to try and play spoiler, it's going to be the Auburn Double Days, and your Muck Dogs trying to get some revenge against them after losing 3-2 to them last week in a game where they pitched very well, but again, they were in the midst of that losing streak and just could not get the big hit. Would like to get back on the winning track against them. They did, however, beat Auburn earlier this season back at Dwyer. And again, it should be Nolan Sparks set to take the mound. And it's going to be what should be a terrific matchup between these two West Division rivals. And we will have the coverage for you beginning at 7 o'clock here on your home of the Muck Dogs, the Batavia Muck Dogs Baseball Network. And so with that, that's going to wrap up this edition, very special edition of the Batavia Muck Dogs postgame show. My name is John Karuba. Your team gets it done tonight, winning it 10-6 over Niagara. They're in the playoffs, and for everybody at Dwyer Stadium, I'm John Karuba saying goodnight, and congratulations, Batavia. We're going to play this last out one more time before we sign off. And then, again, playoff tickets going to go on sale soon, so we'll have some details on that coming up momentarily. But that's the wrap for tonight. Batavia getting the 10-6 win. Congratulations, Batavia. Your Muck Dogs are going to the playoffs. We'll talk to you again on Thursday as they try to win the division. Have a great night, everybody. Batavia wins.
2-1 is swung on, popped him up. Could this do it? Catcher, Fleming behind the plate, makes the catch! Ball game is over! And you know what else? The losing streak is over! Your final score today, the Batavia Muck Dogs solved the Niagara Power. Batavia wins 10-6.
Thank you for listening to today's presentation of Batavia Muck Dogs Baseball and this edition of the Batavia Muck Dogs Postgame Show. Tune into the next exciting telecast to catch everything exciting with your Muck Dogs on the Batavia Muck Dogs Baseball Network.